I like to sing. I like to sing in the shower. I like to sing when I'm driving. I like to sing in a chorus. And on Austin Faith Dialogue, we're going to invite you to sing with us and share in a chorus of care. Please stay with us on Austin Faith Dialogue.
Austin Faith Dialogue, at the crossroads of religion and life. A series highlighting the cultural and social interactions between the worshiping and religious communities in and around the capital city. Austin Faith Dialogue is brought to you by the Austin Metropolitan Ministries in cooperation with KXAN. Join us now in Austin Faith Dialogue.
Hi, I'm Carl Gronberg, host for the program of Austin Faith Dialogue, and thank you so much for being with us. As I mentioned at the top of the program, I've been singing since I was a boy. My mother played the piano, would gather around and sing. And I believe people of faith, people like you and people like myself, are invited to be in a chorus that holds up in front of others the great music of God's Spirit in our world. Austin Interfaith Care Alliance is one of those types of choruses that sings a message of care. And on this program of Austin Faith Dialogue, I'd like to meet two of those people who are committed to that chorus of care. Please welcome Roger Temme. Roger, welcome back. You reminded me that this is the third time that we've been together on this program, and I've enjoyed it every time, and
Likewise.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
And Teresa Ricard, this is your first time.
That's right.
And we're glad to have you here. You're the executive director of
Correct.
Interfaith Care Alliance, and we're going to talk about that. But first, since I talked about singing and music and a chorus, let's invite the viewing audience of Austin Faith Dialogue, let's invite them to hear and to see a chorus of care. Please watch the video.
When you're in a choir, the idea is for many people to act as one. We blend together and we work really hard to come up with a sound, and it's certainly the case with the care team that they work in ensemble.
A care team is a group of volunteers, usually from a congregation, who come to Interfaith Care Alliance because they want to help someone living with AIDS or another serious illness. We match them with a care partner so that they can make a difference.
I know.
Making a difference. When you sing a song, you make a difference. It may be off-key, you make a difference, but if it's one of harmony and beauty, you also make a difference. Tell us a little bit about that difference that goes on. Teresa, Interfaith Care Alliance has made a difference in your life. How is that true?
I first got involved with Interfaith Care Alliance. I had heard Roger speak at a luncheon at the Seton Cove about 2 years ago. And at that time I was in another business. I owned a company here in Austin, and I'd worked at that for about 14 years and decided that I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to do something that made a difference. So I sold my business and started looking around at other avenues and places I could work and worship and do different things, and was invited on the first annual Hill Country Ride for AIDS. On our inaugural ride, I was invited to attend a training for Interfaith Care Alliance, which was at your church, actually.
I found that out. That's great.
A year ago in May, and I went and attended the training and got reacquainted with Roger and the staff at Interfaith and the work, and was immediately placed in a care team with a wonderful gentleman. And I worked with Walter, whose name was Walter, for about 6 months before he died, and he changed my life. It was a life-altering experience.
Usually the Interfaith Care Alliance teams are indeed a team, a chorus.
Correct.
But you did this on your own, is that right? You were working with Walter, and that experience of what I would call in my vocabulary ministry with Walter changed your life.
It did.
Tell us about Walter.
Walter was a very unique individual. He was he was very opinionated, he was very intelligent, very well educated, very well read, traveled all over the world, many, many wonderful life experiences. And he contracted a serious illness. He contracted AIDS. And he came home to Texas to reunite with his family and with his community.
And to spend these days and weeks prior to his leaving here with family and friends, and you were a part of that, Teresa.
I was.
That's pretty exciting, Roger, to think that Teresa was at that training session. So what we want to say to people who are watching this video, that my goodness, if you haven't had a training session yet at your congregation, I didn't know that we had a graduate like Teresa from our training session, and she becomes executive director. How about that?
Watch out.
That's right.
That's how fortunate we were to have it at your church.
Oh, thanks for saying that. We were
It's such a
blessed to
blessing.
have you there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the whole process. In the video, we heard someone say about the parts together singing a chorus of care. Tell us a little bit about the teams and what they're about.
Sure. I'd like to, first of all, mention Teresa. She's become a very special part of Interfaith Care Alliance. One of the things that she's created, even within our office, which is a very special place, is like a sanctuary, a place where people can come and feel very much at home. And we invite people to come visit us. If you don't mind me saying that we're at 7215 Cameron Road.
Good.
And we always like to have people come in and share. And that's one of the gifts that Teresa has brought to Interfaith Care Alliance.
Well,
in
may
her
I
brief
interrupt
time.
because you said
Sure.
something, she said something, and Teresa, you better jump in here and protect yourself, okay, because you mentioned about work and worship, and when you said worship connected with work, that really struck me, and then you follow up by saying that she has brought into your office space that whole sense of sanctuary, and for my heart and mind and ears, I think, well, then you see your work as an expression of worship.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Tell us how and why and what does Interfaith Care Alliance do for you and for others?
Well, I know you mentioned at the beginning of the show that you sing in the shower. Well, we kind of go around singing in the office and just kind of enjoying our time together. It's a place, even for those of us who work there, that we come looking forward to being there each day. And I think the privilege that we have is to be able to work with many of our, as we call our clients, care partners, many of our care partners, and the care teams that interact with them. And that really is a blessing for us to be able to connect these who at first are strangers, but who come together and become family and friends to one another.
Teresa, do you have that poem with you about Walter?
I do.
I would like you momentarily to share that with the viewing audience if you have it with you. And what I'd like to do, though, is ask Roger while you're getting that poem, what about putting people together? How does that process work? How do you go about doing that? You have a client, and then you get a team, and who comprises the team?
Well, most of our teams, we have about 48 care teams in the greater Austin area. Most of our care teams come from the various religious congregations around Austin, and we're hoping, as we continue to grow and to expand and kind of go into this new time, is to go even beyond the congregations to get civic organizations and other groups who will join us to become care teams. I recently spoke to a Kiwanis group in Round Rock, and kind of hoping that that's how we'll be able to do that.
So civic organizations could also be a part of a
Yes,
care team.
very much.
And how many people usually are on a care team, or is there usually?
There's not a usual. I guess we say ideally we would like to have 7, since there's 7 days in a week. You know, that would mean that each day of the week our care partner would have one of the care team volunteers available to him or her. But most of them vary between anywhere from 5 to sometimes 9 people. The way they're matched is Meg Hoke, who is our care team program coordinator, who is also a social worker, first meets the potential care partner in their home, kind of asks them what they're looking for in a care team, and then after we've had a training and we have some new care teams, hopefully, she will then see what the needs of the care partner are, what the needs of the care team are, and does a wonderful job of
Matching
blending
them
them
up,
together.
yeah.
And it always, and that chorus of care that the video speaks about is what happens. You know, that you have all these different people with these many different gifts who are part of this person's life. And as I think I've said once before a while back, that miracles take place when that happens. You know, people who are very sick when we first meet them oftentimes find that they have a new lease on life. There's a reason again for living.
Let's hear Teresa. Would you read for us what you wrote? This was at the celebration of Walter's life, is that right?
Correct.
In October of 2000, is that correct? And you were his, he was your client, is that how they would say
He
it?
was my friend.
He was, I'm sorry, he was your friend. That's
He
a
was
better
my
word.
friend.
read about your friend.
My gift of Walter. I thought I knew what it would be like, but I had not a clue. They told us in training of all we'd received, yet I couldn't believe. Then I met Walter. He taught me so much, and he gave me even more. He taught me how to make the real gazpacho and about mountaineering in the Alps. We debated politics during the convention, and we cursed the inept home contractors. And that was but the start. He gave me the courage to care and to really love. We got real, so quick, so real. He cut through the stuff and all the fluff, and he went straight to his heart. Miss Tina, his James, and Sister Sue. We laughed and we cried. We talked about what it would be like to die. We talked about what it would be waiting on the other side. Fear turns into faith, peace at last. We said goodbye, but only until the other side.
Something really special happened between you and Walter.
Absolutely.
And is that type of thing, is that what happens for the care teams, or is Teresa's experience extraordinary?
No, I think Teresa, every case is extraordinary, I would say. You know, we're just very fortunate. We have about almost 400 volunteers who work with our care partners, and I think we're very blessed to have them continue to let us know how much meeting this care partner has made a difference in their life.
Exactly. Roger, at the video, and Teresa, they talked about the work. If you're going to be a chorus, you have to work at it. And I remember my director saying, "Grand flat, come on, get up there." You know, that's you got to work at this. You know, sit up straight and work at it. You have to work at this. You and Walter had to work at this experience. Were there times you were discouraged?
There were times I was discouraged because I felt like I couldn't do enough to help them. But mostly I was honored. It was really an honor to have someone take you into their life like that and to be able to share and have
All the games
realness.
are over, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all the
Absolutely.
games are done. Yeah, and people really connect with one another.
One of the things I've heard recently is the word authentic. I think it's important that our volunteers are authentic with their care partner, that they be just who they are. And I think that's all the care partner hopes for. Is
And that's
somebody who
another
just-
image of music and of chorus, is the whole idea of making a sound that is authentic and that has some sort of integrity in it. And that's what happens in this kind of relationship that you're talking about. And people who are watching Austin Faith Dialogue, if they want that type of relationship and experience, and that's what you're offering them, is an experience to not only sing in this chorus of caring, or care, but also to be able to experience in their own lives that transforming power. We're going to talk more about this in the next half of the program, but we hope you'll stay with us. And we hope also that as we take a little break, that you'll break out into song and that you'll sing. And then you'll come back and join with us as we talk more about a chorus of care. Thanks for being with us on Austin Faith Dialogue. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Austin Faith Dialogue. I'm glad that you're with us because we're talking about singing together in a chorus of care. And one of the beautiful images in my mind is the image of Mary and the Christ child. And I think about Mary, the mother of our Lord, holding her son and singing to her. I like to sing to my kids. They usually tell me to be quiet, but singing is important. We have Roger and Teresa with us, and they're talking about this course of care that Austin Interfaith Care Alliance is about. And we're going to look at another portion of the video that you have available through Interfaith Care Alliance, and we're going to meet a mother who shares real stuff, heart stuff. So watch the video as we meet this mother and her song of faith.
She had fallen in love with this boy, and all she wanted was just to be a mother and a wife. That the husband would always leave her, and he would come back, and one day she found she had AIDS. The care team has been there since they found out about Serilda, you know. They have been there, you know. I could always count on them. We got to know them real good. We got to know them as our family.
As our family. Roger, how is it that this happens? Of all these miracles that the care team experiences with those who are their friends, Teresa, who become their friends in their journey with the illness, how is it becoming like a family?
I think the video that we're watching, the mother of Serilda, Linda, talks about that, and as we're seeing those pictures of this family that's interacting with each other, the beauty is that not only is Serilda's family interacting with one another, it's the care team's family with their family together. So I think that's how it becomes even bigger than just one family. And I think Interfaith Care Alliance is bigger than just one family. It is many families together singing this chorus of care, who are providing what I think all families want: support and care. There's another place where Linda talks about, you know, people living with AIDS need people who care about them.
You know what I think, Roger? I think people living need someone to care for them.
Yes, right.
And it seems to me that one of the things you all do very well is that you don't try to come in and provide simple answers for very challenging experiences, that you become a presence for people. Talk a little bit, if you would, about some of the new things that are happening at Interfaith Care Alliance. Now, not only do we have a new executive director, okay, and that's pretty great, and I'm going to take all the credit for that.
That's
after
right.
1 year,
It started in your
trained at our
church.
and now you're executive director.
And we should give some credit to God, too. So.
All right, well, let's include God in that also. That sounds like a good idea. But what is happening? You heard Roger say how you have brought a sense of devotion, if you will, and of worship to the workplace. But there's some other things that are exciting that are happening at Interfaith Care Alliance. And
Absolutely.
what about this Connections? What's
Connections is a wonderful program that started in our community. It was a collaborative effort, actually, with many of the different AIDS service providers in Austin. And it is housed in and monitored, overseen by Interfaith Care Alliance. We started about 1.5 years ago, and our original grant was written that we would provide 10,000 rides annually. And these are rides. Our mission is that we provide compassionate, practical, and emotional support. And part of the practical support...
Let's say that again. Compassionate?
Compassionate,
Practical?
practical, emotional support.
I like that. That's good.
It is good,
Yeah,
isn't
right.
it?
Yeah.
I can't take credit for it, but
Yeah, but that is,
it's
you know,
very
that
good.
sounds real good.
So that's one of the things we do, because we do not believe that someone's illness or someone's socioeconomic status should be a barrier to them receiving adequate medical attention. And 95% of our clients live at or below the poverty level. So the Connections program gives people rides to the doctor, to the food bank for different types of therapy. Not just rides to go to the movies, but they're rides that will enable them to lead healthier lives.
Well, going to
Stay
movies can
healthier
help.
for longer. They do,
you know,
absolutely.
help you lead so we want to. Would that be possible also if a person wanted to go to a movie, or is that not included?
No, that's not. That's
It's
not
in-
included. It has to be medical
Yeah,
or
related,
for food
yeah.
bank. Yes, but we started 1.5 years ago, like I said, with a grant for 10,000 rides annually, and right now our Connections program is providing almost 7,000 rides a month. which is a phenomenal number if you think about that. That's
Oh, wow.
7,000 one-way rides to get people to the doctor, to the hospital, to therapy, to the food bank
In a month.
in a month.
And your original grant was for 10,000 for a year?
10,000 annually, yes. So there's a huge need for this
You
in our
are a
community.
super success, you guys.
And one of the needs that we have, especially with Connections, which is kind of another way for people to join us if they may not want to be part of a care team, is to be available to provide rides. We really do need volunteers with that. Say somebody has an hour a week or even an hour a month, and they want to designate it just for that period of time. You know, all they'd have to do is get a hold of Maggie Rincon and Ivory Newsom are our coordinators, and just let them know that they're available, and then take them to a medical appointment, to the food bank at Aid Services of Austin, or to their support systems. It's a crucial need.
And they take them from where they live to the place where they're going. They
Yes.
don't stay there and wait for them, or they have to bring them back? Or what?
Well, hopefully,
Sometimes.
if the sometimes when you go to see a doctor, it doesn't happen quite so quickly. So if they can't stay, then we hope that there'll be another volunteer who will be available to pick them up and bring them home.
Oh, that's a heavy task of trying to coordinate all of that type of thing. For 7,000 rides? I'm still
7,000
kind
a
of
month.
boggled by that number,
I
7,000.
think we have about 500 plus clients.
Correct.
who are with
538 clients right now we're serving on a monthly basis.
And then how many drivers do you have if you have that 538 clients?
Well, it depends on how many volunteers we have, and I don't think we have many
We don't have
volunteers.
many. Most
We
of
need
our-
more.
Yeah,
We need more
definitely,
people to join
definitely.
that course of care.
Exactly.
And one way they can do that is through Connections.
Right.
Correct.
CCC, Chorus Care Connections.
Right.
And Connections at Interfaith Care Alliance means driving.
Means rides, yes. Most of our rides right now are either from special transit or bus passes or taxis. But because we have clients who are under the legal age or have special handicap requirements, you can't just put everybody on a bus or a taxi.
Yeah. What about insurance issues? Is that a problem at all for people
No.
who are driving somebody in a car? Has that been brought up at all in your discussion?
Absolutely, and we've addressed that in our policies that we
Okay.
have.
And so people are clear on that if they should have a concern.
They have a training. We have about an hour training, I suppose it is, for the Connections program that Maggie will do with new people who come in to volunteer. So we will address all that with them.
Okay. And then would also assist them in terms of how they carry on their conversation and what they do and talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I think some people would feel uncomfortable, you know, having somebody they haven't met before. Now, do you keep the same person, for instance, if you're with Connections? Would you keep the same individual and develop a friendship like you did with Walter, or
It
is it just...
depends. It depends. Some of our clients have standing appointments. They might have therapy the same day of the week or a doctor's appointment once a month on the same day. In that case, you would have the same client. But sometimes it could just be a lot of our rides are emergency medical, which we ask our clients to give us at least 24, if not 48 hours if they can. But sometimes you wake up and you need to get to the doctor, or you need a special
Indeed.
test. And
Yeah, that's...
we try to accommodate those needs whenever possible.
That is a very much of a human reality, isn't it? Wake
It
up and
is.
say, I need to see a doctor today.
One of the things that, or two things actually, you know, the video that we're showing on this program today, it's about 11 minutes. I would be happy to bring it out to any congregation or civic group or family group who'd like to see it. It really is a good video.
I have to say this. We had a gentleman who gave us a lunch last week, a catered lunch in our office, and delivered all these. And I will give them a plug. It was from Jimmy John's Sandwich Shop.
Good.
And Roger is such a wonderful outreach coordinator that the young man, the delivery man, came in and delivered the sandwiches. And next thing I heard Roger say was, "Do you have 11 minutes?" And he'd taken him to the back and shown him the video and was recruiting another volunteer. So
Well, you know, if they're going to get in the chorus, they're going to have to give at least 11 minutes.
That's
They have to,
right.
you know, because it's going to
Especially
take
after
that.
they give us a sandwich. so.
Exactly. What about other things that in the training
The
sessions?
second thing, right?
Yeah.
The training session that we have, which is a 6-hour training, and that's to be part of a care team. We're going to be having one coming up very soon, Sunday, July the 15th. It's going to be from 1 o'clock till 7:30. And this training, because we move around to different congregations to hold it, will be at Berkeley United Methodist Church on Berkeley Avenue.
Located where in Austin?
It's kind of south Austin. Some people may say far south, but and they can call our office and get information about that. And we have a flyer that will give directions to the training. But the training is really, it's an opportunity for people who even want to wonder or think about or discern whether this is something they feel called to do.
Even if they are monotones, they could still come and
Yes.
sing. Is that right?
Even if they can't carry a note.
Tone deaf.
Yeah.
We'll take, because that's how I got in. So we'll take everybody.
Teresa, what about Interfaith Care Alliance? You talked about the difference Walter made. You talked about working, having your job. You're a Southwest Texas State University Bobcat, and we're proud of that. That's
I
great.
am.
Tell us about your vision for Interfaith Care Alliance. What do you see? It's doing wonderful things now. That chorus of care is being sung beautifully. But what do you, as executive director, want to see happen?
I would like to see Interfaith Care Alliance grow so that in our community, when anyone has a serious illness, either themselves or one of their loved ones, that they know that there's a place that they can go where they will receive compassionate care, and there will be a community of people who will love them and honor them and care about them, so they won't have to go through their serious illness alone.
So that when I experience my humanity, which does mean at times I may be ill, that there will be people in the community that will make the community really a place of great joy and love to be.
Right.
And Roger, what about Interfaith Care Alliance for you? What's exciting? You talked about some of the things, but where's it going to go from your point of view?
Well, I think to reiterate, I think we're getting into congregations, and I think we want to keep growing in that respect. We'd love more and more congregations to join us. But I think even to go beyond that into the larger Austin and even greater Austin community, whether it's civic organizations or other groups that might exist to make a difference. We want everybody to be a part of who we are and what we're doing.
In two very practical ways is to find themselves being trained for the Care Alliance team.
Right.
And get involved in connections
Exactly.
and do some driving.
And come see the video.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love them to come to our office. It really is a beautiful place of sanctuary, and we're very proud of it. So please ask them to come join us there too.
Well, we would really like to say thanks to you.
Thank
And
you.
now I'm going to have a surprise for you. We're going to sing a trio. And I was wondering,
Oh my!
The show
and I'm
show
going to be
must
the
be over.
soprano. But I want you to know it's really good to know that you are in this community, and that Teresa, that you are there, and that you're working for the entire community, that you're saying that there are lots of Walters in this community, and there are lots of Teresas. You're unique, and he was unique, but something very special happened. And Roger, I've known you for so long, and I know what's within your heart and your mind, and we're grateful for that. And what we want to say to you, you who are so kind and good to share with us on Austin Faith Dialogue, we want to invite you to seriously ponder and consider what it means to know the joy of singing. Singing with your family, indeed, singing in your faith communities, but also singing with Interfaith Care Alliance, a chorus of care. Thank you for being with us on Austin Faith Dialogue. God's peace be with you.